Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out this video. It's your girl LB and Blue. Welcome to my channel Watch With Me LB, where I give you fun, fresh, and funny rants, reviews, and recaps on my favorite movies and TV shows. The cousins asked me to review All's Fair. Ryan. Okay, so Ryan Murphy, you know what I'm saying? Ryan, it's just, I don't know what you asking the man to do, because Ryan Murphy gonna Ryan Murphy every single time. I checked out all 6 episodes. The fabric budget for this show got to be crazy. Everybody have at least 17 yards of fabric on them at all times, baby. That thing was overwhelming to my spirit, girl. Yeah, what do we have on the docket today? Where that come from? What you doing? Then I look up, somebody else got a hat cocked to the side. I said, oh my God, girl, what is going on? Let me show you what I found, girl. You're not gonna believe this. I don't know. I'm over here in a tropical climate, so I can't speak to what y'all got going on. But the coats, babe, I'm talking about thick. Okay, you just accept them thick ass fabrics and come on here. So that's exactly what I did. So let's talk about episodes 1 through 6 of All's Fair. I am 19 subscribers away from 20K. So if you are so inclined, I would appreciate a subscribe to get me to 20,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I am doing a giveaway to celebrate my 20K. So if you are interested, hit the link in the description. I'm giving away a New Orleans themed gift basket just to celebrate the holidays and to say thank you and I appreciate your support. Go ahead and enter because the basket is fire, if I do say so myself, okay? All's Fair is girl power. So we're following a group of attorneys who have started their own firm, who represent women in their divorces. Also, babe, the guest appearances, babe, I'm talking about somebody in there every episode, okay? I had looked up one time and the dude from Ghostbusters 2 was in there. I said, Janusz, what are you doing over here, Janusz? What's going on? Everybody but me and you was on this show. We really need to start with Allora and Liberty. Shut up. That's them people's names. Allora and Liberty are attorneys at a very traditional firm where there's lots of wood paneling in the boardroom and, old white men sitting around, like preservatives, like Bengay, like formaldehyde maybe, depending on what they into. The firm's only partner is Dina. Dina is played by, I forgot to tell you who people play by. Dina is Glenn Close. Allora is Kim Kardashian. Liberty is Naomi Watts. I thought Dina was gonna be the bad guy. And I guess because whenever I see Glenn Close, I just assume she gonna be crazy. That lady not the bad guy at all, child. That's a nice little lady. And Allora and Liberty wanna start their own thing. They go ahead and get Dina blessing and they take Emerald, who is the firm's investigator. They take her, who is played by Niecy Nash, and they go and start their own firm. And 10 years later, they all rolling in the door. Before they left the old white people firm, they had another attorney at the firm. Her name was Carr. Now, Carr is played by Sarah Paulson, who I love down, okay? And I ain't never gonna forgive them for taking away Nurse Ratched from me. Let me tell you something. If Carr is a cookie, they forgot all the leavening agents to make that cookie. Like, Carr is just missing some stuff. Like, she's missing her ingredients and stuff. It ain't all curling all the way over up top. I don't know why Carr was confused why they wouldn't take her. Now, in the beginning of the show, I was not Carr. I was like giggling at her because she for real, that lady, not something wrong with that lady. But by episode like 3 or 4, I was like, I might like Carr. I'm kind of rocking with Carr. I don't know. But then she had took it too far. That's Carr's problem. She don't never know when to be quiet. Last but not least, we got Milan. Milan is played by Tiana Taylor. She's like a associate or like a paralegal or something. But all she got to do is take her bar exam and then she gonna be in there. Now, the first case up, we got Sheila. Sheila is played by old girl from Who's the Boss. I'm not about to look that lady name up, but if you watch Who's the Boss, she was the mama from Who's the Boss, not the grandma, but the mama. She's there because her husband is mad at her because she cheated on her husband, but her husband is a POS. He's played by the man that played Richard in Sex and the City. You know who I'm talking about, though. Richard is mad at the mama from Who's the Boss because the mama from Who's the Boss cheated on Richard from Sex and the City because Richard from Sex and the City was just kind of ignoring her and taking advantage of her. And whenever he like messed up, he would give her a piece of jewelry, like a really expensive piece of jewelry. And so she was was tired of that. So she went and got her some yam from another little, you know, little young yam tree. What do yams grow in the ground? A little yam plant. I don't know. So she called up Liberty, also known as Naomi Watts, and said, girl, my husband don't want to let me out. He gonna put me out and blah, blah, blah. It's a big dramatic thing. Naomi hop on a private plane, because they got a private plane, child. She go over there by the Who's the Boss mama house. And she said, girl, we gonna have to just sell all this stuff. And the mama from Who's the Boss was like, we could sell this jewelry and I could get money from it for real? I said, Ryan, listen, don't piss me off, okay? We just not getting here, all right? Just everybody relax. Nah, you know good and goddamn well your jewelry worth money now. Come right out the gate. Also, we have another case where, first of all, the wife is marrying from the Gilded Age, also known as Meryl Streep daughter, okay? Louisa, I feel like her name is. I think that's her name. She's in here too. She coming there because she got a husband, her husband and her got a prenup and stuff. The husband wanted to bring in thirds, like, you know, extra people to spice it up in the bedroom and stuff. And the lady, you know, the lady didn't really want it, right? But then, you know, he brought in a lady and she was like, you know what? I might let this lady grease my peach in the meantime, in between time. Fell in love with the lady. So she was like, listen, don't want the man. Would prefer to keep the lady that keep my peach grease. What can we do? Turns out, okay, her husband goes to see a dominatrix because he like people to knock on his back door, okay? Which is cool, but you can't be over here coming all high and mighty, you know what I'm saying, trying to make me look bad. I'm the wife in this situation, but I'm not. Okay, just pretend. You can't be coming over here trying to make me look bad because you brought a lady in and then I end up liking the lady who greased my peach good, and, you know, I probably be greasing her peach good too. When whole time you like your back door knocked on. Get your back door knocked on. Just let me go. And they end up winning $210 million. Yeah, that's a good little solid number. That's a solid number you can work with. So then, girl, Allora go home. Now, Allora, so her husband, Chase, he a football player. Chase remind me of Smith Jarrett just because of his like vibe from Sex and the City, okay? Saw them earlier in the episode and they seemed like they was in love and stuff, and he was like rubbing all her booty and it looked cool, right? But then she get home later on and he like, girl... psych, I want a divorce. And she's like, what? Now pause. Anytime anything happened, Kim Kardashian react the exact same way. And I know that lady face been poked, prodded, pulled on, tugged on, slapped, and rubbed down, baby. So I ain't really looking for her to emote too much all in her face. But it's kind of throwing me off, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no tea, no shade. I don't really like to comment on people's looks and stuff unless they're like an asshole. And I don't really get down with Kim Kardashian, but I ain't really about to talk about that lady looks and stuff. But she just be like, oh my God. You want a divorce? Oh my God, he died? Oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh no, girl, I will be here for you and I will comfort you in every step of the way. Like, girl, hello, I would enjoy it if one of your eyebrows can move. I don't even need two, you know what I'm saying? Just give me one of them. Maybe I'll even settle for like a quivering lip to make it, you know what I mean? Because it was giving like iRobot. No tea, no shade. I mean, it was shady, but I'm just saying it was throwing me off, you know? So Chase, we don't really know too much about this man. So he go over there by his spooky house. Turn out the spooky is Milan / Tiana Taylor. And she's slobbing on that knob like corn on a cob. And I say, pause. Why every time I'm looking at Tiana Taylor, a penis in her mouth? Or like her ass in somebody's hands? Tiana Taylor can act gay. She's a multi-threat kind of situation. Because when she was in one battle after another, she was heavily sexualized, okay? And now over here, she's slobbing on this man knob. And I said, girl, can I get to know you first? Like, I ain't really spend no time with you, and you already got a little yam in your mouth. So I was like, hey, like, I would really enjoy seeing her baby be like a superhero or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she could be like a teacher or like a, you know, like an artist or something in a rom-com. I don't know. So Dina gonna represent Allora in her divorce. Dina said, girl, I done touched down the car as hell, babe. I got my goddamn Gucci suit on and I am ready to go, okay? Now, again, this is where I started to notice the fabrics, okay? This is just my personal observation. Niecy Nash got a turban on, fedora, a wide brim, 10-gallon cowboy hat. That lady stay with something on her head, girl. I say, baby, you're indoors, okay? Maybe I'm just a southern lady, all right? But we don't be wearing hats inside like that. It was like, like with the fabrics, okay? That was when I started to notice, and I said, okay. So I wasn't mad at the fashions. I'm not. I'm not mad at the fashions, okay? I just was saying it was just a lot of fabric. That was just me though. Car is gonna represent Chase. Now, Car is like that lady have Tourette's or something. I didn't understand like the beat. So I feel like the lady have some stuff she got going on the side that just made her a little loopy. Okay, she had a little Fruit Loop. All right, cool. You know, Fruit Loop it up, babe. Do what you do. I just was confused about Car and Allora was like arch enemies or whatever because she didn't want to take Car with them to start their business. Car is extremely successful, highly sought after, extremely wealthy in her own right. She don't even like Allora or Liberty or Emerald. Like, she ain't really like them, like, talking about it. So what is the beef? Like, you want to go where you not want? I didn't understand that whole thing. Please comment down below and let me know what the deal was. Example, I don't like clowns, right? So if a clown walked up to me and was like, hey girl, we have a car out back and it's like 17 of us in there right now and we have room for you. And you could just be with us and be a clown. Like, I know you don't like us, but I'm just asking, do you want to go? And I say, no, I'm cool. Are they going to be like my arch enemies? Yeah, they are. Because I don't like clowns. That was a bad example. Next up, we got Jessie Spano from Saved by the Bell. Okay, and you know what? That lady, I don't know what the T was with her. But she had did Saved by the Bell, and then she had did that stripper movie right after that. And then it was like, girl, bye. Striptease was the name of the movie? I don't know. I saw the movie. The movie wasn't great. But goddamn, did they need the blacklisted lady? I don't know. Well, like, I wouldn't mind seeing her in some stuff. Goddamn, did they need some? Anyway, she the next client. Okay, her name Deandra in the show. Deandra is like a chemist lady. You know what I'm saying? She's like in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Goggles and beakers and Bunsen burners type vibe. And her husband, Eddie Cyprian, I don't know why I remember his name, but what I remember him for was with the T with LeAnn Rimes. That's what I remember him from. So Jessie Spano married to LeAnn Rimes' husband. All right, and she invented this thing that's like more sturdy than concrete, but it's lighter. Boom, bam, bap. They rich now. LeAnn Rimes' husband was over there doing all the business stuff, right? Turns out he had all kind of stuff going on, wasn't paying taxes, had the business in her name, but wasn't doing right with the business. So now it turns out she owed gobs of money to the IRS and stuff, and it's like looking all bad for her. So that's when she called in the team. So the team said, girl, listen, we got your back and we're gonna go ahead and represent you down. But here's the thing, we're gonna have to go up against the IRS, girl. That's the feds. Okay, so we're gonna hold it down for you, girl. But it's gonna be a little thick. And so Deandra was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it look bad, huh? You know what, let me take a quick 5 here. Let me just go on the balcony and collect myself and just, y'all just chill right here. And it was like, girl, yeah, go ahead, do your thing, girl. We be here when you wait. Girl, why the lady jump off a bit? She jumped off the cliff, like, and just went. I said, listen, Jessie Spano, girl, you gonna have to get it together. First, you was taking speed in the 80s, then you was showing your ass in the 90s, girl. Now you done skipped a bunch of years and stuff, and now you're throwing yourself off a building. I said, girl, you gonna have to line it up. Girl, that is crazy. I said, oh my God, why you did that? So now it's time for the Mama from Who's the Boss jewelry auction. On the way there in the PJ private jet, for those who don't know, Dina is talking about her husband, Doug. Doug is unfortunately sick. He has cancer or whatever, and she's a caregiver and she's a full-time attorney. It's a lot. That's when I noticed that Niecy Nash's character, Emerald, she's like ooh-wee. You know what? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then don't even worry about it, child. But if you know, all right. Speaking of Emerald, she has triplet boys that are seniors in high school. She got pregnant by help of a sperm donor because she don't really get down with men like that. She don't like the ladies, but she just would prefer just not to deal with men. Also, Liberty, she has a little spooky. His name Dr. Reggie, okay? And Dr. Reggie, I don't know, he boring. Okay, Liberty / Naomi Watts character, she's boring. Like, I like Naomi Watts. Yeah, shout out to Australia and all that. But I don't like her character. Like, her character don't have nothing going on. Her fiance boring. And her whole storyline, period, is that she has this man and the man want to get married, but she don't really want to get married because she sees divorce every day. And then she agrees to get married finally, but then the prenup come into play and she don't think that a prenup needs to be signed. And then he want to do the prenup and then she end up signing the prenup. Y'all giving her dust to do. She ain't got nothing to do. Give her something to do. Now they get to the auction, and who over there at the auction is Car. Girl, Car. Car called Dina George Washington, and I said, bitch, crazy. Why she call that lady George Washington, bro? I don't want no smoke on Miss Glenn now. You know, I don't have no time to have no beef from Miss Glenn, so I'ma just be quiet. So why at the auction or after the auction, Dina and the auctioneer get like a little going, and then Dina was about to go get that man a very mature and ripe peach, okay? But then she was like, you know what? My husband at home, he got cancer, girl. I'm about to go home to the house, okay? So I said, okay, Dean, I see you, girl. You listen, you better know it, because the Golden Girls was fucking all the time, okay? And you better do it, okay? Especially Blanche Devereaux, you know. Blanche was giving that peach away every 5 to 7 business hours. We see that Dina's husband is Al Bundy, all right? Al Bundy / Jay Pritchett. Comment down below and let me know if you saw Ed O'Neill, because I love Ed O'Neill, okay? If you saw Ed O'Neill, who would you think of him as first, Al Bundy or Jay Pritchett? We find out that he is dying, like his cancer is terminal. So Emerald done uncovered that the lady who Allora husband is cheating with is malign, and she got to go in there and tell Allora now. Now Allora, now that she knows that Malign is the one that was cheating with her husband, she go over to Malign house to confront Malign, and she get out the car and she got a yellow flowy dress on with a bat. And I said, hold up, then I love you like I love you. And that's what she was trying to recreate in her mind. And I said, no ma'am. Kim, please. Like I'm on a ride. I'm going on a ride with you, bro. Just let me just relax. Like, don't give me nothing to complain about. All right, I'm choosing not to complain. Don't give me nothing to complain about. So she ended up going in and talking to Malign. The relationship between Allora and Malign is weird as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I can't even front, okay? So she going there to Malign house and she not kicking nothing over. Allora said, when they go low, I go high. And I said, girl, one day. One day, girl, I'm gonna get there. Malign was like, oh, Chase made me feel special, and I'm surrounded by everything that's you, and you just make it look so easy and effortless, and I just want to be like you, and something, and I'm pregnant. I don't remember what that lady said, but she was like, his baby, or something like that, and she held her stomach, and I said, Tiana, girl, the way she did it was giving very much like telenovela, very much like Victor Newman them in the 80s. So Allora said, you know what, the best revenge is living a good life. Well, I'm about to get things nipped and tucked and tweaked, and I'm gonna get, the collagen from my vagina spun in a bottle, and they're gonna make it into a serum, and then I put it on my lips or some crazy shit. I don't know what they were talking about, y'all. Whatever they were talking about, I can't afford it. Next up on the client list, we got Leanne. Leanne is played by Jessica Simpson, and I said, pause. When I saw Jessica Simpson on this thing, I knew it was her. I said, girl, I spent $12 billion on your shoes. Okay, I already know who you are. Jessica Simpson's whole case is that she is the wife of a rock star. As time passed, he wanted her to go in and get like nips and tucks done, right? She was gonna go in there and get like a little lip filler, but then the doctor ended up doing all kind of stuff to her because the husband wanted the plastic surgery, right? But the pause came in because I said, does this lady look like that right now? Because I had to determine whether or not I was gonna get on here and say something. Because I don't be talking about the way people look and stuff. So I said, let me do a quick Googs. You know what I'm saying? It's really important to do your Googs when it's important to do your Googs. I did my Googs, and thank God that lady don't look like that. She got lip situations done, but they're not like hanging on down. They're not like, when the Nutty Professor, when the serum went crazy and it wasn't, when it wasn't rationing out correctly. If that was accurate depiction of what she currently looked like, we was gonna have to regroup as a community. I said, okay, the last thing I remember about her was that she was a good Christian girl, okay? So in this episode, she was fucking in the thing. I said, girl, what you doing? Jessica, girl, what you over here? Girl, you gotta cut it out. That's a grown-ass lady, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why that was just freaking me out the way it was. Anyway, then Emerald discovered that he had all kind of money hidden offshore in Dubai. Give us the coin or we gonna snitch you out or something like that. So then Leanne ended up getting all her little coins and stuff. And so I said, okay, Leanne, that's T. Congratulations. And then I looked at the dude and I was like, who is the dude? Like the husband. And I can't remember what his name is in the show. But I said, girl, that is Jesse's girl. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. I said, hey, listen, Rick Springfield, I know you, bro. Don't think I don't know. I used to watch Pop-Up Video. That's why I learned who he was from Pop-Up Video. I used to love. Girl, I used to love Pop-Up Video. Pop into Pop-Up Video. I hear the sounds of the little bubbles popping in my ear. Comment down below and let me know if you still watch pop-up video. She hears that her husband got a new girlfriend, right? So she stalked them, her fucking ass hiding in the bushes and stuff like Homer Simpson. And then she pop out and pull up at the lunch table with the, you know, the ex-husband and the girlfriend. And she sound like the Wicked Witch of the West. She's like, is he fucking on you? Is he coming in your face? Is he and I'm like, the energy is weird, girl. I don't know what's going on. Turns out she was gonna throw battery acid at his face, girl. But see, with all that money, you could have just hired a goon to do that. What you doing it for in broad daylight? That wasn't smart. So then, on top of finding out that Chase, Allora husband, been sleeping with Milan and got the lady pregnant, now they find out that the husband been sleeping with a trans sex worker. And so, of course, they all gotta come around her and like hug on her and just console her and just, you know. So then, the thing that confuses me again is the relationship between Allora and Milan. Because Allora take Milan to a high-end doctor so that they could get STD tests together at the same time. If I get tested for, you know, the clap in New Orleans, is it not the same kind of test you could get tested at in LA? I don't know. Like, is it different? Like, is the clap different in New Orleans because I'm below sea level? Like, I don't get it. Like, why they had to go together? I don't know what Chase, the husband, got to meet with the trans sex worker that he was kicking it with. So the lady's like, Chase, I'm not going to snitch on you or whatever, but I do want you to come on a date with me so that the paparazzi could, you know, see us together because, you know, the dolls need a win. Trans girlie's up 10,000. But I will say, like, the scene with the trans lady, that didn't even come into play. Now, this is when I said the fabrics are getting out of hand. Car and Dina meet to talk about, you know, a settlement. Car said, bitch, I'm about to bend you over. I want $1 million a month in alimony. I want half of this, half of that, 2/3 of this. I want all the business and the fucking partridge in the petri, okay? And then Dina was like, girl, just relax. I couldn't concentrate because Car had the biggest, but she had a Christmas tree topper on her chest, bro. Yeah, girl, we want $1 million a month and $22,000 a week, and we want an airport and a hangar and a beach and a whale, bitch, and we want a beach ball. Why would you have that on there like that? There's no need for that. That's just that's just excessive in my opinion. That thing was crazy. For some reason, Allora goes to the house of the woman that her husband slept with and got pregnant to help her set up a nursery. Why would you do that though? First of all, let's just say I'm the scallywag, okay? Let's just say I'm the floozy, the trollop, okay? You ain't even asked me, bro. How you know I want this, I'm not ottoman, girl. What you call it? Cradle. How you know I want this cradle? You ain't even asked me. This might not go with the theme of my stuff. Hold on. Here we go with the fabric again. He was like, yeah, where we gonna put the nursery at? No, I don't think it needs to go over there because you're not gonna want to do that in the middle of the night. Put it over here. And she came with delivery pits, some goddamn task rabbits and shit, and it was coming with her to set up the nursery. I said, bitch, this is a habitual line step of biblical proportions, okay? Maybe that's why she was dressed like Mary Magdalene, girl. I said, what? Pause. Shout out to the modest girlies. I don't even know if I got no cousins that watch that's a modest girly. I will never, ever pass up a modest girly, hijabi girly, the burqa girlies. I will never pass up one of y'all videos. You can't see nothing but the face card. I don't know what you got going on under there. I got that face card though, and I'm gonna sure tell you look pretty every single time. Shout out to the modest girly. Anyway, so then Mary Magdalene sitting on this lady bed talking about shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and she confiding in her husband's mistress about how she wanted 2 kids and that she wanted a child at 43 and a child at 45. Allora has, through that conversation with Milan, decided that she wanted to get the eggs that she and her soon-to-be ex-husband had harvested, implanted. She want to try to go ahead and have a baby. Now, the problem is that shit is illegal. So now we got to talk about Emerald and how Emerald don't have a man, okay? Because her triplets want her to have a man and the girls want her to have a man because now Liberty, with her boring ass, is now engaged to her boring ass fiance. They starting to talk about how Emerald, you know, she just be at home with her vibrator and she just be, you know, they don't feel like that's a fulfilling life. And Emerald is like, babe, he said, well, you know, I do have this friend that has a party for like singles, you know, that want to do like the old school mixing and mingling, like face-to-face kind of thing to see what the chemistry is and that she's going, right? And so everybody at the firm is excited. Her 3 little boys are, they're not little, they grown ass men. Her sons are excited. So her and Allora, they go shopping and they trying to find her something to wear. So Emerald getting ready to go to this little thing or whatever. And her children are at home and she's in the back getting dressed. And she comes out with this, you know, her little gown on or whatever. I'm talking about titties to the collarbone. I say, yes, niece and ass, you better put them titties in my face, girl. You love a good solid pair of mammary glands, okay? Anyway, her son said, Mama, you look bangable. Pause. Who wrote that for that boy to say that like that? So she gets to the place and she see her friend Elise. And Elise is Ryan Michelle back there. And I said, that's my girl. And as soon as Emerald get there, she see this man looking at her. And I said, pause, girl, he look like a scammer. He was like, can I get you a drink? And she was like, yeah, give me an amaretto sour. And then he left to go get her a drink. And I said, pause. We already know what time it is with that, okay? So trigger warning for the upcoming conversation. Child, the man had put something in that amaretto sour, girl. And she didn't know what was going on. She remember bits and pieces of this and that. She got cuts all on her. She all tore up. She thirsty, throwing up. I know it was sad, Bluesy. But I also didn't expect that. Like, the show got progressively more serious as the show went on. First couple episodes was like straight up bullshit. It was like, we over here fucking around. And then next thing you know, I'm over here giving trigger warnings. I said, y'all didn't tell me this was gonna be that kind of vibe. Like, I didn't know. So now she got to call 911. She got to go get a rape kit. And she ended up calling the team in and, you know, letting the team in on, you know, what was going on. Aside from that, this case is Jennifer Jason Lee. Shout out to the 80s. Emerald and Carr end up getting into it while they were doing like some mediation or whatever, because Carr was being a bitch like Carr do, child. And so she said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and excuse myself and I'm gonna go ahead and focus on finding this motherfucker that did this to me. And I said, hell yeah, girl, call me. Pick me up on your way over there, girl. I will help. Now the team got to get in there where they fit in there, right? They got to figure out who this man is. Now, whoever that is that assaulted Emerald is fucking with her. They sending her pictures of her when she was tied up and under the influence to her phone saying, have a good day. So she sent it to the girls and the girls are on it. There was a piece of mail with an address that they traced back to some man named somebody Walton. That house that she was in was owned by this person, but the person who the house was owned by passed away. There is a connection to that person and Dina, because Dina did a class action against this person like years ago and it bankrupted this multi-million-dollar company, and then a couple years later the man killed himself. So Emerald is like, so you mean to tell me this man trying to get to you by raping me, right? And so Emerald is of course very upset about that. Then it turns out that the person who they suspected of being the person that assaulted Emerald died by apparent suicide, right? And so now they saying, well, listen, the police gonna want to talk to you, girl. Emerald got to go talk to her sons because she had told her sons that she was possibly raped when she went on a date or whatever, and it was all really upset. And so she was like, did y'all kill that man? And it was like, no, we ain't kill him. And she was like, all right, cool. So now let's go to the case. So the case this time is Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields got married to her husband when she was 18, and he was married for like 40 years, 30 years or something like that. And the husband was in residency or whatever. And so the got married, got pregnant, had a daughter. Then he was in medical school and she just lived her life for her child and her husband. But now her husband has early onset Alzheimer's. And she said, you know what? I'm about to go. I just want my time. I want to be able to travel and I want to be able to live my life the way your daddy lived his life. Talking to the daughter, because the daughter mad at the mama because the daughter feel like the mama is leaving and her daddy when her daddy need her the most. And I'm like, well, if he don't know who you are and y'all already got buku money and you married, why get divorced? The divorce didn't really make no sense to me because I want to travel. Bitch, get on the plane. So now we find out that Carr, as rotten as she is, has an actual child. God bless that child. Carr is at an arbitration. Something happened. I can't remember what. And she ended up crying in the middle of a litigation. And the client was like, bitch, what's wrong with you? And so she ended up cussing the lady out. And then the person who was like a co-attorney on the other side ended up wanting to work with Carr because she's like, and she played by Lorraine Toussaint. Shout out to Lorraine Toussaint. Because Carr hates Allora, and then the lady, Lorraine Toussaint character, doesn't like Allora because Allora always takes her clients. Now they're gonna work together to get Allora. I don't know, child. This shit's stupid. I don't know. At this point, Sarah Paulson is taking it. Okay, Sarah Paulson Karen is showing her back. She eating up every scene she in. Okay, Carr is over there by Chase. and they have this weird ass scene where it look like they want to have sex, but they also don't have sex. And then she end up washing his hair because baby gotta wash his hair, and baby gotta, I don't know, it was real like, I don't know, it was supposed to be sexy, but not for me anyway. And when she left, she ended up getting a DUI and she got arrested. And then she get Lorraine Toussaint's character to come and bail her out. And thank God it's finally time to wrap this up. Ooh, okay, so it's time to do mediation for Allora and Chase's divorce. The judge in the mediation is Janusz from Ghostbusters. So at first, Par and them say Allora didn't disclose a property that she had. And so because of that, Car and them got the prenup that they signed thrown out. Then Dina get a phone call that say, hey girl, you might want to get over here. Your husband got the death rattle. You know, when people about to pass away, they have a death rattle. And it's like they last little breaths or whatever. And so she ended up having to leave. Emerald was trying to convince Dina to go low because Car is in hell already. And Dina was like, nah, I can't do that because I already done messed her up or whatever. So now that Dina gone to be with her husband, Emerald was like, I'm about to drag this bitch. I'm about to dog walk this hoe. So Emerald pull out the fact that Chase was cheating, like, cause he in gambling debts and stuff like that or whatever, right? And so that's like that was like a blow. Then they pull out something else. Then they pull out the DUI thing where Car admits to sleeping with Chase. And she was like, I slobbed on this knob like corn on a cob. She ended up climbing on the table and trying to fight people and cussing people out and spitting all over the place. Yes, I fucked Chase. He came inside my face, inside my hands. You don't see the judge right there? The judge right there. The lady cussed everybody in the mediation station out. Then, for some reason, I don't know reason, Emerald go and find her in a room and consoles her and says, girl, I admire you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna help your daughter get into this school because I'm on the board of this school that your daughter wanna get into. You just gotta chill out on all this behavior. Why would you say that? Like, why is that even an option? Because I don't understand. Because if you go low, I go to hell. Why are we not keeping that same energy? And I didn't like that Niecy Nash was the one to do it. This is an example of when a non-black person writes a black character played by an authentically black person. Then now they're going to do regular 50-50 California stuff, you know, because Chase was coming after the business. And he not gonna do the business. They just gonna sell this and sell that, and the company gonna be fine. So then, unfortunately, over there by Dina, Jay Pritchard done. That's not that man's name. The man's name in the show is Doug. Doug passes away, and of course, Dina is very upset about it. And that's the end of episode 6, and that's the end of the recap of all the episodes. Now, let me get into my thoughts in my noggin. You know, no tea, no shade. Kim Kardashian is not an actress. It's not even shade. It's just the truth. The lady not an actress. I watched it for Niecy Nash. I watched it for Tiana Taylor. I watched it for Glenn Close. I watched it for Naomi Watts. I did not watch it for Kim Kardashian. However, she is the lead of the show. The show is not good. The actresses who could pull it, they not able to pull it. Sarah Paulson carrying this whole show on her back, babe. I'm talking about like Jesus of Nazareth, bro. The dialogue is bad. I'm cool with that. Fashion's eating down. The fashions are fashioning, okay? Nobody would ever wear none of that shit to school or to work. But that's not the point, though. You know what I'm saying? If you just let it go, you'll have a good time. The other part is, the stakes are super low, but they also high. And people doing a lot of stuff, but they're not doing nothing. And nothing really has any weight. I want to know how you found out that he had an offshore account in Dubai. I want to know how you knew that he was doing this, that, and the third. Like, how did you get to the crux of it? Like, let me be involved in the investigation station. You know what I'm saying? You can't just pull back up to the goddamn briefing table wearing a full-length mink coat and just tell me this what you got, because I want to know what you got. Like, tell me how you found it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not mad at it, bro. I needed something to watch while I was doing my laundry. Did the shit out of my laundry to these episodes, okay? So comment down below and let me know what you thought of All's Fair so far. I'm gonna ride with it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else they got going on. I mean, we just gonna be out here. We just gonna be out here. All right, y'all. I can't wait to talk to you in the comments. I'm gonna talk to you later. Bye bye. Boop, 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 boop.